Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to show you another part of MAC's huge holiday collection, which is divided up into subparts. This sub-collection is called the Guilty Passions collection, and it consists of 3 sets of lip glosses and 3 sets of crushed mineralized pigments. And as you can see, these sets are very good for gift giving, either to someone else or to yourself. The videos for the other parts of the Holiday 2012 collection are already up, so that includes the Fabulousness collection and the main color collection, which is the Glamour Daze collection. So you can go over to those videos and see them if you like. I will put them down in the bottom bar, and they will be linked during this video at certain points. And as always, if you want to see reviews, more detailed reviews on these products, and detailed photographs of all of the colors, you can go read those at allurabeauty.com. This collection is technically supposed to release early November, but I believe it is currently available through maccosmetics.com, and I'm almost certain that it will be available widely to people for purchase by the time that this video goes up. Here's what the packaging for the lip gloss sets looks like. The sets, all of them including the eyeshadow sets, are $32.50 each. And so they come in these round, kind of hat-like boxes. They're not as big as hat boxes as you can see from the size of my hand, but they are made of quite heavy cardboard material. So they open up like this, and the 4 lip gloss colors are housed in this plastic well inside of here. So each set contains 4 lip gloss colors, and of those 4, 2 of them are cream sheen glosses, and 2 of them are Dazzle Glass formulas. This set here is the Lavish Rose Lip Gloss set. So the first color here is Demure, Going Casual, Boys Go Crazy, and Color Saturation. Now these tubes are shorter than your normal lip gloss from MAC, but the applicators are the same. So for the Dazzle glosses you get the brush applicator, and for the cream sheen glosses you get a doe foot applicator. Demure is a warm pink shade with blue pearl in it. Going Casual is a sheer lilac color. Boys Go Crazy is a deep amethyst with silver, gold, and purple shimmer. And as always happens, sometimes you get very stiff applicators with the Dazzle glosses. And Color Saturation, which is a dark, cool-toned wine color. So there is the Lavish Rose set. Personally, I think these colors are really beautiful. You go from sheer to increasingly more pigmented, so you get a nice range, and you get both glittery, shimmery, and non-shimmery shades. Next up is the Cocktail Coral set. Here is Out for Glamour, Geo Pink, Sublime Shine, and On the Scene. On the Scene is a peach with what MAC says is pink and white pearl, but really this doesn't have any sort of discernible shimmer in it. Sublime Shine, which is a light coral brown with gold pearls. Geo Pink, which is a strawberry pink with what I would say is coral tones to it. And in the tube it does have pearlescent particles in it. And Out for Glamour, again a stiff brush. And this is a clean yellow based pink with red pearls in it. Alright, so there you have Cocktail Coral Set, and these shades I definitely think are in the coral family. This obviously is not really coral, it's pretty much a bright pink shade. And third are the colors from the Nicely Nude set. You have Fashion Whim, Satin Slip, Get Rich Quick, and Kiss Don't Tell. Fashion Whim is a light beige color. Satin Slip is a soft beige with gold pearl. I'd say it's like a peachy nude color. Get Rich Quick, again that stiff applicator. Each set has had one of the two Dazzle glosses with stiff applicators. Anyway, this color is a warm yellow brown color. And Kiss Don't Tell is a warm chocolate with a cream finish. So there are your four nicely nude lip gloss colors. Consistent with the name, these are all mid-tone nude shades. I'd say more in the brown family. Moving on to the Crushed Metallic Pigment sets. It has similar packaging, although it is a little bit smaller, but again, it opens up and you have the four different shades inside. We'll start with the Brilliantly Cool Crushed Metallic Pigment set. Here is She's Got Class, Moss Garden, Spruced, and I've Got a Crush on You. For these kinds of pigments, you can clearly see that the particles are much larger than your regular loose pigment. So the type of application that I've found works best is you pick up the pigment on your brush and then you take the lid and you press the pigment into the bristles. This not only gets the product to adhere to the brush more easily, so you get a little less fallout, but it also physically crushes the pigment particles so that they're more smooth on the skin and that they also adhere better onto the skin. You can apply these with a damp brush or dry, so I will show you both applications. Now on the lid you will use a more patting motion because your lid area is obviously much smaller than the space on my arm, which I'm using to swatch. So there's She's Got Class, applied dry. It's a metallic frosty white, and applied with a damp brush. My mixing medium usually is water and then a little bit of glycerin, which I find helps the texture and does help the shadow adhere better onto the skin. So applied wet, you get a little bit of a smoother application, but really not a huge difference. And I've found that this is consistent across all the metallic crushed pigments that I've used, is that there's not a huge difference between wet and dry application. Here is Moss Garden, applied dry. This is a light green blue with a frosty finish. All of these shades will have a frosty finish. And with a damp brush, same thing, slightly flatter application, and by that I mean the particles are more flat on the skin. I don't mean that the color is more flat. So there are the first two shades in the Brilliantly Cool set. Spruced is a very bright, deep teal shade. This one is less gritty in the finish than the other shades that we saw. Applies a little more like normal pigment. Applied with a damp brush. Not really a difference. If anything, I would say applying it with a damp brush gives you a very slightly more watercolor effect. I've Got a Crush on You is a brown with a teal frost. This is the crushed metallic pigments version of MAC's Club eyeshadow. But unlike with the pressed form, I feel like this one gives you a much more distinct duochrome effect. And applied with a damp brush. Much more smooth application. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but Spruced does stain the skin a little bit, so just be aware of that. Here we have the Tenderly Warm Crushed Metallic Pigments set. Here is Darling Coquette, Silk Stocking, Dreamy Little Thing, and Ever Elegant. Darling Coquette is a soft beigey color. It's got a gold undertone to it. Applied with a damp brush. Again, much more seamless application. You get a little more of a liquid metal surface to the color, and if you work it into the skin a little bit, much more smooth surface of color. And I apologize, this color was Silk Stocking, not Darling Coquette. I will swatch Darling Coquette right now. And this is more of a pinky champagne color. It actually goes on very, very smoothly, even with dry application. Darling Coquette used with a damp brush. Again, application is a little easier, and the finish isn't really any different with this shade. So they're the first two shades in the Tenderly Warm kit. Here is Dreamy Little Thing, which is a rose with a silvery sheen, even though MAC describes it as a copper sparkle. Again, comparatively smooth application. Applied with a damp brush. Here is Ever Elegant, which is much more opaque and smooth in color than any of the shades we've seen so far. And applied with a damp brush. Now MAC describes this as a copper color, but I definitely think it's more of a reddish toned milk chocolate shade. And last up is the Sweetly Smoky set. You have the shade Marabou, Prettified, Femininity, and Dusty Desire. Marabou is a lilac frost color. So again, we have a more grainy surface. Applied with a damp brush. Prettified, which I would describe as a mauve chocolate color with a frosty silver metallic finish. And applied with a damp brush. So there are the first two shades. Femininity is described as a cool pink frost. I think this is a really vibrant violet magenta. It has a duochrome character to it. Applied with a damp brush. And Dusty Desire, which is a very, very rich and opaque royal purple. And applied with a damp brush, not as opaque in finish, definitely more of a watercolor surface. So there are the last two shades. Alright, so there you have MAC Cosmetics Guilty Pleasures collection. I have mixed feelings about this set of products. For the lip glosses, I don't like that every single one of the kits had at least one applicator that was stiff. In testing these shades, it makes application much slower because you get a very small amount of product on your lips. You have to dip the wand back in to the tube like 4 or 5 times just to coat your lips. It also feels unpleasant. But strictly looking at the colors, I do like the colors in each of the sets. They offer you variety and different finishes, from cream finishes to glittery finishes. I would make sure that if you're getting these for yourself, to check your collection and see if you have some of the shades already, and that might inform your choice as far as which of the sets you'd like to get, because each set does contain a re-promoted color. So you might not want to buy a kit that has a shade that you've previously purchased. For the Crushed Metallic Pigment set, I feel like there's kind of a love-hate relationship with this product. It is kind of a hassle to use. The shimmer particles get everywhere. They get on your fingers and they stick to things, and the loose jar packaging just exacerbates that inconvenience. So keep that in mind and just consider your tolerance for working with a product like this. The application also takes more work in terms of pressure and blending the particles of the product. You will get fallout on the cheeks or under the eye area, so it's probably something you want to apply before you apply your foundation. On the other hand, these shades have extremely metallic frosty finishes that are hard to duplicate with almost any of the pressed versions of MAC's eyeshadows. And many times they're very, very pretty. So that's kind of the give and take with this type of product. Alright, please share your thoughts with me if you have any of these sets, or if you just want to share which set intrigues you the most. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, or at allurabeauty.com. on any of the reviews for this collection. I hope you enjoyed looking at these colors with me. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one.